Welcome back to Spirit Sherpa, where spiritual practitioners learn to master their gifts, grow their businesses, and change lives. I'm your host, Kelle Sparta, transformational shaman and spiritual business coach. I am here today with Adam Frank of Hypsee. And Adam is going to share some really interesting concepts about what's going on in the spiritual industry right now. And I really wanted you guys to hear this. So, welcome to Adam from Hypsee. I'm super excited to hear about it, but tell us a little bit about your business before we talk about the industry stuff.
Okay, so thank you so much, Kelly. I'm excited to be here. I'm the CEO at Hypsee. Hypsee is a company that allows spiritual creators to connect one-on-one with their followers. We have a variety of products that we support. We support offline guidance and readings where people can come and just send out their question, and then the advisors can answer them whenever they feel like. We also have live stream management tools where we really help creators who do live streams on social media platforms to make the most out of it and collect those leads, and make everything in order. We have two other products. One is a scheduled reading, just like the whole industry is already doing. And the newest product that we just released about a year and a half ago is something that we call instant calls. And it allows creators to be available on demand and charge by the minute. And we are seeing crazy shifts in this market, and I'd love to talk to you about them.
Awesome. So basically, you are the bridge between practitioners and their clients. That's the
Absolutely.
short answer. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we provide the infrastructure for spiritual creators to go and manage their business.
Okay. Fantastic. So now, because of this, you're in this very unique position of being able to see what's happening across a wide swath of practitioners and what the industry is shifting to, right? And so when you reached out to me, because you reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to be on your podcast," and I'm like, I don't take a lot of interviews anymore, but I love things that are industry specific. And so you had said that you were seeing some shifts in the industry. So talk to me about the shifts that you're seeing because, when I started, it was, you buy a reading for an hour, it was $60. This was in the late 90s. And that's what you got. And most of the time it was in person and that was all there was, right? But now things have shifted. So what's going on with what you're seeing?
So it's a great question. I think that we should go all the way back to 2018, where I founded the company called Wizio. Hypsee is kind of like a branched out company from Wizio. Wizio was a generic platform for all social media creators to offer advice and guidance to their followers. The reason we built Hypsee is because we saw that the spiritual creators found Wizio, and we decided that they need a house for themselves. But what we saw during 2018 and even a little bit before is that, as you said, we had the scheduled systems going on, and we also had courses and recorded advice. That was kind of like what technology allowed in a way, and it went fine, and there was no need for any innovation in a way in this market. And then what we saw was COVID came, and everything changed because it just started to be Zoom calls and scheduled calls, and everything was like really, really rising. But something else had happened as well during COVID is that kind of like people were starting to feel that they want more and on demand and immediacy and immediate things because they stayed at home and everything was online. So that kind of like their mindset has shifted to be more online mindset. So now if I have an issue, I don't want to wait a week for a scheduled session. I just want to go and, get my remedy now. And what we've been seeing since about 2 years ago is that there's an increasing demand for on-demand pay-per-minute type of service to kind of like support the demand. So we released that product, and we're now seeing that this product consists about 70% of the business. So it's like way, yeah, like you would think, wow,
Yeah,
but
that's huge.
it's huge. And we're letting the creators do whatever they feel that suits their business, but somehow naturally it kind of like shows 70% of all the business going through the instant calls. And it doesn't surprise me because we're seeing this whole trend in so many other fields like Amazon Prime, you can get the delivery at the same day within 2 hours. And if your Uber driver is late, by 2 minutes, you can feel guilt free of canceling the driver and bring someone who's 2 minutes earlier. So this mindset, we're seeing it also tapping into the spiritual industry. It's an interesting topic to discuss.
Yeah. Well, and before we got on this call, you were kind enough to walk me into sort of the back end and give me a sense of who's on the platform and how many followers they have and things like that. And we saw their pricing, right? And I saw that many of the people had one price for chat and one price for phone and one price for video, and that started somewhere at 3 minutes, $3 a minute rather, and that was pretty common for chat, right? How many minutes are you seeing people buying in this scenario?
It's a good question. So I would say that the average session is around the 15 minutes. Some, of course, average it's all about the standard deviation. We saw on-demand calls that lasted for 3 hours, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, for sure. And we saw also on-demand calls that lasted for 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 2 minutes. Hey, I just need a quick question, quick advice. What should I do? Thank you so much. I love you. Goodbye. Like, so we see everything from everything.
Yeah,
But I would say that the average time would around all of the sessions would be around the 15 minutes for on demand.
that's fascinating. That's really interesting. And is it something where, and I didn't see this in the structure, but is it something where people can like turn it on and say I'm available now and turn it off when they're not available, that sort of thing?
But yeah, you have a toggle. You can just toggle it manually on and off whenever you're available. If you have 2 hours of free slot, you toggle it on, you post your a disappearing story on Instagram or whatever. Hey, I'm available for the next 2 hours. Click here and get and reach me. But
I
you
was
can
wondering
also
what those disappearing stories were for. No, I know. Yeah.
That's because if you're only available for 2 hours, it doesn't make any sense to make a post out of it, right?
Right.
And then you'll have to delete the post because it's irrelevant within, a couple of hours. So that's one use case that we see. The other use case is that you can set your availability on a daily basis and integrate with your calendar. So let's say I'm working every day from 9 to 6 or whatever it is, and I become unavailable automatically when I have something in my calendar. So it integrates.
That's cool. Yes, that's really cool. Okay.
We listened
So
to our users; they really wanted it.
yeah, I'm excited about that because that's exactly what I was thinking. It was like, oh, what if I forget to turn it off when I have an appointment? And that's perfect.
And
Um,
and even if you did forget and you don't have the capacity to answer, after two unanswered calls, we put you offline until you put yourself online again, just to make it fair for your followers,
right.
so that they won't get disappointed.
Yeah, that's great. When you and I were initially talking, this is a trend that you're seeing shift. And I laughed when you said, let's go all the way back to 2018 because I'm going back to 1998 myself. So 2018 is like yesterday. But in internet world, it is like lifetimes ago, but yes. So if you were to think about where this is going to go going forward, I mean, how long has this been happening? How long has you said 2020, but I feel like people there was an entire year where they were just trying to figure out how to use Zoom, right? So how long has this particular trend been happening? And, where do you see it going next?
So it's a great question, and I'll actually kind of like show you a parallel world of how things work in that world, and then I'm going to try to show you how I think it's going to work in the spiritual world. Let's say the AI race, for example. Okay, like people think AI is dangerous, and there is a scenario where AI will demolish the world, and there are like many theories about, hey, like how about we all stop doing AI, right? And then they say, but wait, if we all stop except for one country, then they will have some sort of advantage over other countries, right? So the other countries need to do it. Even if they want to stop, they can stop. Now, I'm taking it back to the spiritual industry. What we're seeing now is there's a shift in the mindset of seekers. Not all of them. I'm talking about, a segment, of course. And
Yeah.
that segment Expect, not less, expect immediate remedy. Now, when they're already used to seeing more and more creators joining the trend and offering on demand availability, then they start expecting it. And once they see that there are creators who don't offer it, they're kind of out of the game for them
Right.
because it's kind of like in my generation, I know that I have a weekly therapy session. It's fine. I keep my insights and my questions and my sharings for that hourly session, for example. But if I would be in this generation where I would be used to getting therapy whenever I literally want it,
Right.
then I wouldn't be able to go back. So that's kind of like where I'm seeing the market. I'm seeing the market. We're seeing more and more expansion of creators who are seeing a decline in their scheduled sessions. And once they offer the on-demand sessions, they see where the focus.
Yeah. There's a benefit to the per minute thing because then you're not committing to an entire hour when you only need 15 minutes, right? Which is lovely, right? But I guess my question is I also want to look at this from a what's the best path scenario, right? So you've got chat, you've got phone call, and you've got video, right? So for one, how does the phone call and the video work? Are you actually giving away your phone number to people or are they calling through your system?
They're calling through our system. Everything
Okay.
is completely private. Absolutely.
And the same thing with video, or are they getting
Yeah.
on Zoom?
So it's not a Zoom. It's like you only creators need to download the app. The seekers don't need to download anything. It's just simple as, a click of a button.
Perfect. And
The
then,
go ahead.
yeah, sorry. And then how do the seekers get onto the platform? Are they on an app on their phone or are they on the computer or how does that work?
So it's both. The seekers, we don't market to seekers. We market to creators. The
Right.
creators market themselves and their services to seekers. Among their services, they market Hypsee as well. They have a suite of offerings. They have their Patreon and their own website, and everything integrates beautiful with each other. And once you are exposed to that option through social media, usually social media, newsletters, blogs, but usually it's social media, you just click the button and then you land on the store of that creator, and then you can choose whatever you want. If the creator is available now, if you want to schedule, if you want to send an asynchronous question and receive an answer, there are different tiers and different
Right.
options.
But are they coming in through an app on their phone or are they coming in through a website from the platform of the person who's like it would come in through my website or are they coming through your website? How are they accessing the phone call and video and chat?
So they are exposed to Hipsy through social media. Let's say I follow a creator on Instagram or on YouTube, and then they say, hey, if you want to talk to me, check my link in bio. So I go through my phone to the link
Okay.
in
So
bio.
it's a web link.
It's a web link, and
Okay. That's what I was trying to determine. Okay.
it
It's
looks
a
and
web
feels
link.
like it.
Okay. So yeah, but they don't have to download the app.
No.
Okay. Now, what percentage of people are choosing the different types, chat versus video versus phone?
It's a good question. Assuming that the advisor offers all of them, I would say that about 60 or 70% choose chat, and
Fascinating.
the rest choose voice or video. Because video can be very intimate, also from the seeker side, not only from the advisor side.
Yeah.
So, and we have advisors who offer video advice, but they charge much more than the chat advice because energetically it requires different, it requires just different type of
Well, you have to control your background. You have to have your hair brushed. You have to be dressed. I can chat all night long, but putting on my video, I'm like, I'm sitting in the dark right now. I don't want to turn on my lights.
yeah,
We
and
went
again,
through a lot. So yeah.
true, and people are so used to chatting these days,
Right.
so it's just very, very intuitive. Like 10 years ago, it wouldn't be so intuitive in a way because, like, maybe 15 years ago. But now it's like, I WhatsApp everyone, I SMS everyone, no worries, answer at your free time. I can chat with you and do the dishes. I can
Right.
get spiritual advice in a way and do the dishes and do my other chores. So absolutely.
Yeah. So there's no asynchronous audio chat or Is
So
there no,
no,
okay.
no,
That would be my preference, would be asynchronous audio chat, because I'd be like, I wanna just hit the button and speak and not have to sit here and type and hurt my fingers, you know? 'Cause I have tendinitis, but yeah. So, yeah, that's fascinating. Okay, and this is what I like about being able to talk to the owners or the CEOs of the platforms, is because then I get these statistical numbers, because, that helps me as a creator decide, do I want to enable all 3 types? Or, do I have to enable video if I really don't want to? And the answer sounds like no. 60% chat and probably 20/20, or probably even 35/15 is gonna be my guess for the other ones, right?
yes, but it is a little biased in a way because if the video is 3 times more expensive usually than the chat, then you'll see just by the natural distribution that that's how it goes. So it is 60, 70%, but I don't know. It's the causation,
Right.
what came first. But I do believe that even if everything was the same price, we do see creators that price all options similarly, and they do see more chats as well. So I just don't know what's the difference.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think it's generational too. The
Yeah.
younger generations wanna do chat. So, they don't like to look at people. They wanna be in their screen, right? So, yeah, that's valid.
And you also mentioned something about not all people want to have, a 1 hour session. And to me, like there are pros and cons to this change of mindset because when you do bite-sized spiritual guidance, you kind of miss out on the deep work. And vice versa. If you're only aiming for the deep work, you're missing all of those, low-hanging fruit opportunities of helping people that don't need the deep work. And like we don't always need to do the deep work, or we don't always have the time or capacity. So this is literally shifting how spiritual creators give spiritual guidance. And this it's shifting the whole industry. And that's what excites me. That's the reason I really wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good and it's bad, right? I mean, I like the idea that if I have time that's committed, and I'd like to have a client or 2 come through, that I can turn it on and just be, like, available. I'm not as excited about being available 24/7. That was but, when cell phones came into being, I had the same thing. I'm like, "I'm not getting a cell phone. I don't wanna be of that available. I don't want people to expect to be able to reach me at any time," you know? And it's boundaries, right? It's all about making sure you have good boundaries, and we talk about that a lot on this show, is making sure you have good boundaries. So, okay, is there a cost for the platform?
So it's free to join.
Okay.
If you don't earn, we don't earn. We take commissions. Our commissions vary from 9.6 to 29.6. Everything is in the terms of use. And if you don't earn, we don't earn. The reason that I'm super excited about Hypsee is because this technology that we're now enabling exists, but it exists in the marketplaces, in the big play with the big players like California Psychics and Keen and all the other platforms that do offer this type of technology in some different formats. But they will all charge 50 to 80% commissions from every client
Yeah,
that
but
comes.
they're providing the clients,
But
right?
they're providing the clients.
Yeah, you're
That's
not providing the clients. So, but yeah, 9.8, I was like, that's a little pricey, because but then, you're paying the fee for the credit card, right?
yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's 3.5% of that, potentially as much as 4.5 to 5% if somebody's international. And so, then 9% doesn't look too terrible, but 29% looks pretty high for us having to provide our own clients. I'm going to be honest about my feedback on this one, but what is the difference between a 9% and a 29% commission? How does that work?
It depends on the service. So the 29, we have tiers. The 9.6% is for the live stream management services. This is like one service that we have, and then we go up to the 29.6%, which would be for the instant call services,
Mm,
where we see that, this is kind of like a product that, we spent a lot and we spend a lot of resources in building it, developing it, and so on. And we're seeing that, it's still far off from any other solution in the market. And there are tiers. So it starts from 29.6, but the more you earn, the lower the commissions we charge. It goes down to 19.6. If I'm not mistaken, everything is transferred in the terms of use. But
Yeah.
we do have creators who earn thousands of dollars per month through instant calls, and that's where the commissions go lower.
Well, and if you know that that's the price, then you up your price on a per minute basis to compensate so that you still make what you want to make, right? So, people are like, oh, but I can only charge this. No, the platform fee is the platform fee. And if you want to make $100 an hour, which is really low, but if you want to make $100 an hour, then, let's make that easier. $60 an hour is 60 minutes, right? That's $1 a minute. And you're paying 30%, 29 point whatever is 30%. Then you charge $1.30 a minute, right? And then you still net what you want to net. This is part of doing your business, is recognizing what your costs are and accounting for that, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example that I stumble upon nearly every time I speak with a creator. As you said, many creators, they charge more than $60 per hour. They charge
Oh, sure.
per
You
hour.
should be charging 150 or so for a psychic read these days for an hour. Yeah.
Let's talk about the pricing of $150 per hour. So what we are seeing, I'm witnessing this, is that when I speak with creators who are honest enough with me to tell me that they don't get a lot of bookings for various reasons, their size, their engagement, their potential, whatever it is, they don't get enough bookings for $150 per hour. Then they join Hypsee. They offer readings for $4 per minute or $3 per minute, but let's say $4 per minute. So what they see is that at the end of the day, their face value for their hour is $240 instead of
Right.
150. They get tons of more clients because the barrier of entry
Is very low.
psychologically goes
Yeah.
down from 150 to $4
Right.
by creating this win-win for the creators and the seekers. And that's what shifts the industry. Now, if we're talking about a few years from now on, creators who won't offer some sort of instant access, I don't think that they'll have a lot of game unless they're like huge or VIP or like mega.
That's your point. Yeah. Yeah. So, but what I can see is not only are you lowering the barrier to entry, but you're lowering the risk for the client, because if they get on the call with you and 5 minutes in, they think you suck, they can get off the phone or get off the chat. They can close it and be done. And they're out very little cash. They didn't have to commit that $150 to find out that they hated you, right?
Absolutely.
And so that there's no risk for them, right?
You're
Yeah.
right. And also, when a creator has their own website, they control the reviews. When you go on a third-party platform and you see that there are reviews, 5-star reviews, then, it also reduces the risk and gives you, another reassurance.
Yeah, it's kind of like Trustpilot in that way. Yeah. Yeah. This has been fantastic, Adam. We've run out of time. We've already got up to the very last second here. So tell people how to find you.
It's easy, hypsee.com, and I'm a real person. You can come and find me on Instagram. It's Adam, bottom line, FRX. At my free time, I do Ninja Warrior. I'm in the Ninja Warrior, so you can feel free to follow me and enjoy it, and then follow Hypsee and enjoy.
Awesome. So Hypsee is Hypsee, and you can download the app on the Google Play Store or on Apple Apple Store. And if you're a practitioner, it sounds like you really need to get on the money on this one. So I know I'm going to go out and try it and see how it goes for me. I do promote to other practitioners, so we'll see if that's a good fit for the practitioners, and I'll let you guys know how my experiment is going. Adam and I are actually going to be doing a sacred business calibration too, so you'll hear more about him a little bit later on. And that's it for this week. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. If you found this helpful, please share it with a friend of yours. We would kill for a review. We haven't had one in a while, so if you're out there and you like us, please give us a review. And remember, what you focus on expands. What you intend is what you create. So choose wisely.